The air was dry in Macon, Georgia, the kind that made your skin itch and your throat tight. The sky pressed down like it wanted to smother the town in its thick August heat. Darius Lane rolled down Pine Street in a silver rental sedan, easing through his childhood neighborhood, just a few blocks from his mother's house. A grocery bag sat in the passenger seat, milk, bread, and those lemon cookies she liked. His weekend visit home was supposed to be simple, peaceful. He hadn't been back in almost a year, but nothing had changed. Not really. He glanced up at the rearview mirror and saw the cruiser that had been following him for at least 5 blocks now. He signaled, changed lanes, slowed slightly, hoping the patrol car would pass. Didn't. Red and blue lights flashed in the mirror. Darius sighed and muttered, "Here we go," pulling over without resistance. The cruiser door opened. A woman stepped out, Officer Caroline Duval. Mid-40s. Pale, sharp features, her blonde hair tucked into a tight bun beneath her patrol cap. Her mirrored sunglasses made it impossible to read her expression, but her posture rigid, hand resting on the butt of her holstered sidearm, said more than enough. "License and registration," she barked. Darius kept both hands on the wheel. "Sure. I'm just gonna reach into the glove box. Nice and slow." "Do it carefully," she snapped. He did, then handed over the paperwork without a word. "What brings you to this part of town?" she asked flatly. "My mother lives 2 blocks away." "This car's rented." "It is. I flew in from Seattle yesterday." She looked at him a moment too long. "Step out of the vehicle." Darius blinked. "I'm sorry." "Step of the vehicle." He did, hands visible, confusion blooming across his face. She circled him like a hawk eyeing prey. "You fit the description of a suspect involved in a robbery this morning." "I've been at my mom's house all morning," he said. "You're welcome to check." She didn't respond. Instead, she spoke into her radio, calling for backup. Darius shook his head. "Officer, I know my rights. I haven't done anything wrong. I'd like to know what—" "Hands on the hood," she cut him off. He hesitated. Now, something in his face shifted, not fear, not even anger, but a weariness that ran bone deep. He turned, placed his palms on the hot hood. "I'm a business consultant," he said, voice calm. "I work with Fortune 500s. I don't carry weapons or drugs or anything else you think I might have." "Don't talk," she snapped. "You're making it worse." Another cruiser pulled up. A younger officer stepped out, Rodriguez, judging by the nameplate. His eyes flicked from Darius to Officer Duval. She cuffed Darius. "On what charge?" he asked, still calm. "Resisting arrest." "I didn't resist. I asked you a question. You stepped toward me. I didn't move. You just didn't like that I spoke." Her jaw tightened as she shoved him into the back seat of her cruiser. The whole drive to the station, Darius sat still, phone buzzing in his pocket. His mom, probably. He thought about the groceries wilting in the sun. About the last time he saw someone cuffed for no reason. It hadn't ended well. He wasn't scared. He was tired. At the station, they booked him. Mugshot. Cold walls. A clipboard shoved at him without explanation. Officer Duval typed her report with the mechanical precision of someone who'd done it before. Aggressive. Raised voice. Non-compliant. But this time, something unsettled her. He hadn't flinched. He hadn't begged. He'd looked her straight in the eyes. And that scared her more than she'd admit. They kept him overnight. No phone call. No explanation. Just a hard bench and a flickering fluorescent light. At 7:13 a.m., a gray-haired officer finally walked in with a clipboard. "You're being charged with obstruction and resisting arrest," he said. "Bail hearings this afternoon." "I want to see the report," Darius replied. "You'll need your lawyer for that." "Then I'll call one." They gave him one call. He called Malcolm Stokes, a defense attorney from Augusta. They hadn't spoken in years, but Malcolm picked up on the third ring. "Sit tight," Malcolm said. "I'm on my way." By early afternoon, Malcolm was there, calm in a navy blue suit, clipboard in hand. He walked into the station like he owned the place. "I'm here for Mr. Lane," he told the desk sergeant. "I'd like to see the dash cam footage." "That's internal," Officer Duval said, appearing out of nowhere. "You'll get it in discovery." Malcolm looked at her. "If your story holds, you shouldn't mind me reviewing it now." She didn't answer. Darius was released on bail 2 hours later. He walked out of the station with Malcolm beside him, not angry, not vengeful, just focused. Officer Duval watched them go, something twisting in her stomach. That night, she sat on her couch, laptop open, watching the dash cam footage. She paused it when she saw herself shove him. Closed the laptop. Walked away. Across town, Malcolm and Darius sifted through paperwork in a rented townhouse. She filed it just like clockwork, Malcolm said. It's a pattern. I found 2 sealed complaints, Darius replied. Both black men. One dismissed. One dropped. Both said she roughed them up. I'm not letting this go, he added. You sure? Yeah. She's counting on silence. Malcolm nodded. Then we start with a subpoena for the footage. The next morning, Officer Duval showed up to her shift with a tight jaw and eyes like stone. But inside, she felt it. Doubt. It followed her everywhere. Into every stop. Every glance from her fellow officers. And then someone came forward. Her name was Rhonda Maxwell, a courthouse clerk who'd grown up in the same neighborhood where Caroline used to patrol. Rhonda remembered the stops. The boys who got pulled over for walking home. Her own brother arrested at 17 for obstruction. Same wording. Same badge. She didn't go to the police. She went to Malcolm. They met at a coffee shop after hours. I kept records, Rhonda said. Names. Dates. Reports we were told to forget. Why now? Darius asked. Because I should have said something 5 years ago, she answered. And I'm tired of carrying it. Malcolm nodded. We'll include your statement. That week, the story hit local news. Brief segments. A simple headline, Officer under scrutiny after traffic stop sparks investigation. At the precinct, Officer Duval felt as though the room shifted around her. Officers avoided eye contact. Her locker had been moved. Her supervisor pulled her aside. You're on restricted duty until the hearing. I followed protocol. The court will decide that. The courtroom was packed for the preliminary hearing. Neighbors, family, reporters. Some there for justice. Some to defend the badge. The dash cam footage played on a projector. Clear audio. Darius asking questions. Caroline escalating. The shove. The cuffs. No aggression. No raised voice. Just a man asking, why? The judge turned to Officer Duval. Is this how the incident happened? Caroline swallowed. Not exactly. Did the defendant resist you? No, Your Honor. The room murmured. Then came the witnesses. Wallace, a former warehouse worker. A retired teacher. A delivery driver. All with nearly identical stories. Duval sat still. When it was her turn, Malcolm asked the questions. How many complaints have been filed against you? 4. Were any valid? No. Even this one? I thought I followed procedure. Do you still believe that? Caroline looked at Darius. At Rhonda in the back row. Then back at the judge. No, she whispered. The judge recessed. That afternoon, she ruled, sufficient evidence for a full trial. Duval's world unraveled fast after that. Suspended without pay. Her union lawyer made excuses, stress, miscommunication that nobody was listening. At the final hearing, Caroline showed up without her uniform. She was found guilty of misconduct and falsifying a police report. No jail time, but stripped of her badge. Barred from law enforcement. Outside, cameras flashed. She kept her head down. Everyone saw her. Congratulations, Malcolm said to Darius. I didn't do anything special, Darius replied. I just didn't back down. In town, the conversation kept going. Churches talked about it. Teachers brought it up in class. One wrote in a bulletin, there's power in your voice, even if it shakes. Darius stayed in Macon. Started holding Tuesday night workshops at the community center. Know Your Rights. Teens. Seniors. Even a few quiet off-duty cops came by. One kid asked him, did you ever want to give up? Yeah, Darius said. But if I did, she'd still have her badge. He wasn't done. He filed a civil suit not for money but for public records. He wanted names. Data. Proof. Caroline moved away. No statement. No apology. Her cruiser was auctioned off. Her house sold quietly. Her name faded from headlines but not from memory. One night, she watched a clip of Darius speaking at a workshop. He said, your silence is someone else's permission. She closed the laptop and sat in silence. Not everyone asks for redemption. Not everyone gets it. But the lesson wasn't hers anymore. It belonged to the town. To every kid growing up thinking they had to prove they deserved to walk home. Because truth doesn't ask for permission. It just needs to be told. And when it's heard, believed, and backed up, it can change everything.